Big Bash, I'm sure you'll be the second or third.
Terry, can you run me through the decision to obviously not renew Chris Lynn's contract?
Yeah, it was a really difficult decision to make. Chris was a foundation player for us. Most sixes, most runs. He's been enormous for us over many years. But you know what we see when players come to the end of their contract. We've got a retention and recruitment committee now. We weighed up the for and against in terms of offering Chris another deal, and we felt on balance that we'd go in a different direction.
How did Chris take the news?
He's been with us for a long time, and of course he was disappointed. No doubt he was disappointed. But as Chris does, he's a really resilient person. Chris will now look to other opportunities, and we know he's been announced to play in county cricket up in England. So I'm sure that's what he's preparing for.
For me, it feels like, given what he's given to this franchise and given what he's achieved in the Big Bash, it feels disappointing that he's not here for this farewell press conference today. Do you feel some disappointment that he's not here?
Yeah, look, Chris is a friend of the Brisbane Heat, and he'll always continue to be a friend of the Brisbane Heat. He's been enormous, as I said to you, over the last 10 years. He's someone that we want to continue to stay in contact with. We wish Chris all the best, and we look forward to seeing what happens with Chris's future in the near future.
Brad?
Was it a cultural decision? Because obviously, he's the highest run scorer in BBL history, so it obviously wasn't his ability, it was the cultural decision.
Look, there'll always be speculation around why we made the decision. The core decision was based on resetting and rebuilding the Brisbane Heat. It'd be fair to say our fans know it, our sponsors know it, that we've underperformed in many aspects on the field over many years, and certainly our coaching staff and our players have got high expectations. We've probably finished in the bottom four more times than the top four over many years, and we want to get back to more consistent winning, and we've got to look at the balance of the team, and that's what the coaching staff are doing.
Just one for Heels. I guess people are asking the question that this cuts to the essence of what the Big Bash actually is, whether it's entertainment or striving to win. Because the bosses say entertainment, don't they? Which he's got, Lynn, hasn't he? So how do you rationalise that equation?
Yeah, I think this is the start of a sign that Brisbane Heat are going more to winning than entertaining, and that gives a lot of pleasure to fans. I don't think the winning part has come easily for us, and neither party have been enjoying the relationship last year. Linny gets so heavily relied upon year after year, and it's just become not enjoyable for him. So it's a mutual thing. We were going nowhere as a team, and Linny wasn't enjoying it. All my cricketing instincts tell me that he's not finished. He's still got 5 good years in cricket, and I really hope he can find some real fun and enjoyment, not only in the Big Bash, but in cricket in general. So, and I can answer the cultural one too, I reckon. It's not really a cultural decision. It's that fact that neither party was making ground. In the years where Chris Lynn and Brendan McCullum were setting the Big Bash on fire with entertainment, we still weren't winning. Now, to me, the other players weren't stepping up, and they're still not stepping up, and it's become unenjoyable for Linny. So we've just got to make a step and get some real responsibility into our players and get playing better.
Have you spoken to him at all?
Yeah.
How was he?
Oh, he's patchy. Early days, he's patchy. He accepts it. He knows how hard it was playing with so many players relying upon you and against great opposition who bowl very well to you. It was very, very difficult. And so we just hope he can find some fun and it could be a great thing for his cricket. And then he'll go into disappointment mode as well. So I think time will help, and certainly England will help, and hopefully another Big Bash franchise will certainly do a great job for it.
I was just going to say, based on that, has there been a falling out, or is the door still open for him to return at some stage as a friend of the Brisbane Heat?
Definitely the door is still open. And I feel at 31 years of age, or he might be going on to 32, he's got years to go. And I think he can recover from the form of last year and really get going once again, he'll set someone alight for sure. I'm more than happy to facilitate my thinking to another franchise too. If they were just wondering of our thoughts of what he might do when he's fresh and not being relied upon so heavily.
I got one from AAP, which I'm happy to throw in. But this was probably for Terry on the way. Question for AAP was with taking Chris Lynn out of your team, how do you replace him? And more importantly, what have you got in place to take care of that? So that's going to be to either you guys.
Yeah, well, look, we've got, obviously we're in the middle of an embargo period right now, so it's not to say that we haven't been having conversations with people around the traps as well. So we're quite positive about what the future holds for the Brisbane Heat as far as recruitment goes. We've also got the good fortune there's going to be an international draft this year, so we actually can bolster our stocks through that as well. So the future without him is still quite bright, as disappointing as it is, and we respect what Chris has done over the years. But we've got this young talent that we're going to nurture here in Brisbane, as well as hopefully we're going to recruit well and bring in some good internationals.
The follow-up question from AFP was along the lines of, so you guys finished seventh and you take out your best player. Is it downwards from here, or how do you address it and move up in the ladder, bearing in mind that 2020 can be quite a fickle sport?
Yeah, look, I don't think we're going backwards. I think we're going forwards. Obviously, we're going to miss a player of that experience and that stature, but it gives us an opportunity to build from within, like I said. So, look, this is the decision's been made both from a short, medium and long-term view. So we're here to make sure the Brisbane Heat's strong going forward down the track.
Now, Wayne, you coached, of course, Chris in the past season, so you would have been obviously part of this decision. What did you see in him this last season?
Good question, Crash. Look, I saw. We didn't see the player that we once saw last season, and I think Chris will be the first one to admit that his performances weren't quite there. And naturally enough, when you're not performing, you actually lose a little bit of your confidence and your enjoyment. So I just saw his enjoyment of the game wavering a little bit as the tournament went on. There's no question about the effort and the energy he put into the game. So he's still fiercely competitive in everything he did. From his end, I'm sure he recognised that his performances weren't quite right last season.
Do you agree with the decision?
We have a retention and recruitment committee, and Queensland Cricket, so I'm a part of the decision-making process.
And you ratified this. You were like, yep, that's what is the best thing for the Heat moving forward.
Yeah.
I missed a question. So again, Wayne, you can probably handle this, or Terry might want to jump in. But there was a suggestion that Kawaja now has left the Thunder and may well be on the radar for Brisbane. You've said that there's an embargo period on, so is there anything you can offer on that front, or have you spoken to him, or what's the chances?
Well, I speak to Uz quite a bit about a range of topics. He's our state captain, and we do chat on everything. So, look, there's not a lot I can add there, other than we'd be mad not to have conversations with Uzi along the way.
Heels, can I just ask you one? Is this just an on-field decision, or has anything in Chris's off-field behaviour come into this decision?
Not at all. So no off-field. Let's start again. No behavioural or cultural issues came into this decision at all. To me, it was the fact that performing for the Brisbane Heat wasn't enjoyable for Chris Lynn, and our players on the other side weren't growing either. So neither were enjoying the relationship. So it need to change.
Well, what are the reasons why neither party was enjoying it?
Well, I'm not sure about the players not enjoying it, but Chris, for example, being relied upon so heavily in such a high intensity, stressful job of trying to hit sixes from balls that are put right where you don't want them put. And then his form being down, it becomes a real chore and a real effort to find energy day in, day out. And then our team weren't stepping up to support him well enough. So now that's going to be the focus of our coaching staff. Coaching confidence is their great challenge moving forwards.
And without going over old ground, obviously the team probably didn't get the opportunity to impress at the key crucial time, with COVID knocking out 13, including Chris and Wade for that matter. Is it a case that sometimes circumstances can conspire against a player like that to actually really prevent them from doing what they set out to achieve?
Well, certainly it was a very disrupted season, wasn't it? And new players coming in left, right and centre, some almost making it, some almost turning a corner, some not. And so there were lots of reasons why last season wasn't great. But Lynny's season and the end of a 5-year contract just was poorly timed. You know, this is one of the most significant decisions the Brisbane Heat and even Queensland Cricket have had to make because he has been the Brisbane Heat. With him and Aaron Finch, they're the two most popular and best known Big Bash cricketers around our country, possibly cricketers around our country. So this is a big decision and it was very difficult. What Chris hasn't done for an ill kid and inspiration to cricketers is nothing. You know, he's been unbelievable value for the community and I just hope he can find fun again.
Do you think it'll hit your fan base?
I think our fan base will be looking eagerly at what's up our sleeve.
Yeah.
Not even we know what's up our sleeve yet because of this international draft. We know what we are looking for and are they going to be in that draft? That's the first thing. So the draft is an unknown, the format of the tournament's an unknown, so our fans, I think, have been the best in the country, so they won't be too dismissive just yet.
I had another one from Dan Brady from the Age, which is a follow-up, which is not directly related to this, but he just wanted to ask you your reaction to the suggestion that Brendan McCullum might be in the line framed for an England coaching job at test level. Just if I could get a quote or a response from you, if that's appropriate.
I'd have Brendan McCullum in any coaching role. You know, his positivity, his aggressive nature of taking on stress, taking on pressure and beating it or coming head on towards pressure. So I think they're wonderful qualities you can train cricketers into. If they're not that confident, that might give them a real sense of what they might be able to try to do. So I'd certainly recommend him to England.
Okay.
Even though Gary Kirsten's got the test job.
Is that not the script? Okay. Sorry. Everyone got that? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I think that's all I've got. Guys, are you happy with that? Anything else you need out of that group? Jerry, Wade?
It'd be good for their one-day cricket, wouldn't it? Test and T20 cricket.
Yeah, I think that. So anything else from our point of view? Queensland's, also the Heat now has to, I guess, contract a player to replace Chris, and there's an embargo period currently on. Just can you just run you through how that actually works from here in terms of what the Heat has to do from here?
Yeah, look, as part of what both Heels and Wade have talked about, we've got a retention and recruitment committee in place. Off the back of the decision that we've made about Chris, there's a number of players, batsmen, bowlers that we're actually looking at, across domestically, but also internationally as well. And we're certainly having conversations with them. They're non-binding conversations at the moment, but it's important we continue to, to speak to people and when the embargo is lifted, be first in there to sign them.